Well, it's not mine to say a whole lot about, but I know that it come from a good space in his heart, his vision, and I'm signing on to help put it out here because I believe in it. We believe in it, so you can get fresh and be positive all at once.
Amazing, man. Tell everybody where you're from, bro.
I'm from Detroit. I was born in Detroit, but if you know the history of Detroit, the '90s in Detroit was pretty bad, and so my mother left Detroit, and I spent a few years in New Jersey, and then after that she moved to Illinois, and then after that she missed her home, so she came back to Detroit, and it was still tight, a single mother with 4 kids, so it's like she was reaching out to her mother, like, I can't take care of all them by herself, so I would go back to Illinois and then come back to Detroit, and I was bouncing back and forth till about high school where I stayed and never left again.
Yes, man. So you got to go across the country pretty much.
I got to experience other cultures, other brands. When I say brands, I mean like different type of music, different type of people. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, a girl asked me the other day, like where I was from, and I said I'm pretty much gumbo. You know what I mean? I got a whole lot going on there.
Very cool, man. When did music start for you?
At 9. Like and I'm still friends with this guy to this day. Like I credit him for like, he was on the porch writing a rap, and I was on my way to go play dudes or something, play with some toys, and asked me did I want to write a rap, and I'm like, yeah. He like had the radio with the headphones and the microphone thing, and we rapping through the headphones, you know what I'm saying? So that was that, and then like, so a lot of people don't know that Tina Turner is my cousin. Her real name, Anime Bullock. So my name, Juwan Bullock, and like for whatever reason, my grandfather let it be known, like, yo, that's our cousin, So it was almost like he was telling me that she did it and I could do it too.
Wow.
Especially when he found out that I was musically inclined.
Did you ever get to meet her?
Nah, unfortunately, no.
Damn,
no.
Son.
Yeah, she like, she spent a lot of her time over in London.
Okay.
Yeah, she never really came back to the States that much, or maybe it's England. But
did she ever like contact you though, or just like let her know, presence be known, like she's your family member?
Nah, I tried, but yeah, I know, right?
Tina Turner, man, having a relatability to her but having zero contact, that's wild, man.
It's kind of like making music in Detroit. All the right people, and it still just haven't added up the way you envisioned it to add up. You know what I mean? Like, my little brother grew up with Vezo.
Really?
You know what I mean? Shout out to Rich Overnight Dollar. He, we all from 6 Mile. Pretty much all Detroit rappers is from, East Side rappers. They from 205. And
did Vezo try to give him a hand though? Did he ever try to like put him on?
My brother is proud. Like, he never asked, and I always ask, why you never asked? I'd asked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like I used to watch them play. Like, my brother only like 3 years, so him and Vez probably like 3 or 4 years younger than me. But like, even just growing up on the East Side, I've bought weed from Vezo when he was selling weed out of a house on like Christie, and they had a green door. You'll never forget that, right? Because I went to Osborne too, and so like on my way to school, I would stop there and grab me a bag and go to school.
This is before his music career took off, I'm assuming. Like
way before.
Before Green Guys, that's crazy.
And it come back to that being my example of being around people who took off. Like they my constituents.
Damn.
I've been watching them all take off, and I've never once hated. I've always been happy for all of them, from him to Peasy to Cash Kid to all of them.
You grew up around Peasy and Cash Kid too?
My sister grew up around Peasy. Like they know each other, and like his baby mama is even like one of her best friends.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to be like in the center of it. You know what I mean? Like, even the guy who brought this big heat, him hell of his best friends.
Oh,
so it's like one more time. You know what I'm saying? It's like to be like around everybody who got it going on.
Amazing. So music starts at a young age for you. What was your first time actually getting music out there for people to check out?
2008. I just came home from prison. I went to prison when I was 17, and I get out of prison, and I'm working this job as a dishwasher. Shout out to Roger Yacht. He was the only person who would give a guy with armed robbery a job. And and so Jadakiss said it best. Like, man, all you need is a Pro Tools. You can get it going. So we brought the Pro Tools. We get it going. Then I got this one friend. He like the ultimate hustler. He like, man, we could put these songs on one CD and sell them for $1, and we'd get paid. And so we started selling the CDs because that's Master P and Jeezy's foundations. Selling CDs out your car. So we selling CDs and we making money, and and every so often we might hear somebody riding past playing something. So it's like we feeling like they like the product that we presenting. It was just always a challenge of getting it out here more.
When you're selling these CDs, you're selling them in Detroit?
Yeah, that's where it started.
Were you selling them at the gas stations or out the van, or like what was you doing?
Everywhere. Belle Isle, we probably was the first ones like at Belle Isle to like slow down the traffic to sell these CDs. Belle Isle, Greektown. We did gas stations and stuff too, but it got to a point where we was like D-Ray on barbershop. We up in the barbershops with it now.
What year are we talking about here?
2012, 2014.
So you guys had Belle Isle slowing down.
We had listen, they started making rules in downtown Detroit to keep us from slowing this traffic down, because it's like 6 of us and we going by the name of Fam First, and that was different for Detroit because everything was money over whatever, entertainment, get the bag entertainment. Everything was based on money, but we was like the only ones out here, talking about putting family first.
So police ever pulling up on you guys like, hey, you guys got a piece out of Belle Isle because you guys are like messing up the flow over here?
Yeah. They you know how it is in America. They start making rules to prevent certain things because the traffic was causing a problem. It really was. You got people trying to get off the island, and y'all slowing this whole process down because sometimes a conversation might last a little longer than buy my CD, give me $5, and you gone. You know what I mean? Sometimes people want to kick it with you, know where you're from, and then it's Motown, so they know somebody, or everybody love music in Detroit for real.
So when you started realizing the music's moving, you're selling CDs and you're hearing it actually getting played, did you ever get to a point where the radio was hitting you up or anything of that level?
So I had 2 songs make it to radio, and I don't know exactly how many times they got played.
You and Payroll?
Yeah, that's one of them. The one with Payroll made it to radio. The Payroll record took me all over the world because you get to see the analytics, and so Get Your Money Right. The funny thing about that is I met Jeezy once in Eastern. He was out there selling CDs at the college, and just so happened he was down there doing a signing. So we wait in line, and I meet him, and I'm like, I'm doing my part. I'm trying to give him the CD I got with me. He like, man, your part never done, and that ain't the response that you want, but it's real, and you got to eat that. And then you got to go do more, and fast forward, he was in Detroit a couple years ago promoting his liquor, and I go down there, and so while they setting things up, I get to kick it with him again, and he like, you got a record with Payroll? Yeah. He like, what's the name of it? I tell him it's Get Your Money Right. He like, man, I'd rather have a record with Payroll than have a record with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dang. And so
Jeezy told you that?
Jeezy told me that.
He'd rather have a song.
I'd rather have a record with Payroll than have a record with Jay-Z. Payroll like that. He down to earth, he humble, and I thought about it before I got here, right? So the price that he charged me for the record, and shout out to Tam for putting that together for us. The price that he charged me, we doing the video, Payroll and Tam doing the video, we doing that, and I hollered at Kid, HBK. His price was more than Payroll. And then I talked to Clay, and his price was more than Payroll. So it's like Payroll really show love, and not to try to say that they don't, but I guess he in a position where maybe he more open to try to pull somebody up, because I don't know why. You have to ask him why.
Sometimes good energy just manifests things in a different way, and sometimes people receive that good energy, and that's what allows them to be like, okay. And some people are just in a certain position where they can't interpret it or intercept the good energy at that moment. So it's like, if you talk to people right, you'll get a deal, man. or you'll get shown love if you talk to people right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had one offer for a deal. We was this like 20 we just got started. This guy hit me up like yo, I rock with y'all, but y'all got to do whatever I say, and y'all can only make music with me. And I just got out of prison. You can't really talk to a prison guy like that. It sounds crazy to me, you know. And then I'm young, and so I'm arrogant, and I'm feeling myself, and like, nah, we straight. We'll figure it out. Plus, it just sounded crazy to say something like that, you know. But in this age now, I probably would have asked him to expound on that a little better. Like, what you really mean by that? You know?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's just another example of how you approach somebody could have changed everything. If he had approached you differently, maybe you would have thought about it more.
Yeah.
It's a lesson for the day for all these artists and just everybody in the entertainment industry. Just approach people the right way, bro. Like, it only hurts you to approach people the wrong way. It does not help. If you try to belittle somebody or make somebody feel a certain way or try to make it feel like you're bigger than them in any type of way, to a real artist, they're gonna shut you down right away. They don't care what you're talking about or how much money you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once you get paid, you and Payroll are on the radio. What other song did you have on the radio?
So I came up with a different persona. It's called Jericho King, and I started. I think I'm probably the first Detroit artist to embrace the Afro beat music. You know, so we got a very talented artist by the name of Swaz. She made the most amazing hook, and we had it played on TJ Chapman's Live, I believe. And it's called Favorite High, and it's just like, you know, Big Heat made the beat, and I think Dre Butters did something on the track, and it's like the most melodic, most intoxicating song you'll ever hear. It's like one of my biggest records, probably like over 100,000 streams. I recently found out I got over 1 million streams as a writer, and I ain't did a lot of writing for too many other people.
Can you tell us who you wrote for? Or is that kind of disclosed?
No, when I say other people, it might have been like my brother's wife who was a female and didn't rap, but I needed a female verse on it.
Gotcha.
I haven't written for anyone in the in the industry or.
But still, to hit 1 million with your name attached to these projects is pretty cool, right?
I love it. I plan to celebrate it at some point because I was Master P was just saying on the Drink Champ, so whenever I watched it, he like, you know how many No Faces got over 100? You know how many No Faces got 1 million streams? I thought about it like. I'm not exactly a no face, but I got over 1 million streams. You know what I'm saying?
Big deal.
Very big deal. So right now, me and my people trying to figure out how to make it all make sense. You got over 1 million streams. You got a likable product. You got a lovable product.
Just about getting your face out there. That's really what it is.
Yeah. In the right energy, in the right context.
Absolutely, man. So I know you talked a couple times about you got locked up, unfortunately, at a young age.
Yeah.
What happened for you to have to get locked up?
The truth is, I was freestyling and kept talking about robbing people, and then one day after a freestyle, I was like, oh shit, I guess I will do that. Yeah, I do that, and that energy brought the right people into my life who wanted to do that too. And so we started doing it, and I don't want to be too specific because, well, I went to prison for it, so I guess they can only talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't want to catch no new cases or nothing. Just the struggle, bro. And I watched, like, I watched a lot of your clips, right? But Vezo is the one I watched the entire video because I had time that day. And he was telling the truth, like, our youth, we make each other feel so bad about having and not having. A lot of us in high school really just doing stuff because we just want to be fresh for school. We just want to be comfortable.
So you were robbing just for clothes and stuff?
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Just to, I mean, it almost, as a child, what else can you want?
Well, you said armed robbery, so you don't even need a gun to steal clothes. You could just.
Well, in Detroit, the females steal clothes, and it's some men who's out here boosting clothes too. So I'm pretty popular, but you don't think like stealing clothes. You think about this gangster.
What was the day like? Because now you're in it. You rapped about it, but now you're doing it. Like, did you have adrenaline going? Were you worried? Like, what was the day like?
What, the day in prison?
No, the day you decided to actually go rob
And go do it.
Yeah.
It's a super adrenaline rush for sure. It's about the high is about as strong as getting on stage and grabbing a microphone.
Tell everybody like the timeline from like getting in the car to realizing you're going to do it.
Uh, okay. So in the beginning, it wasn't even a car. In the beginning, it was walking around with masks on grass shit, on grass in the city. Because all you can do is rob the people in your neighborhood.
Mm.
So it's just you walking around there and you find somebody that you think caught slipping and you know, we was so, and it wasn't just me, it was me and my co-defendants. It's so crazy. You know, you really don't know what you're doing when y'all robbing the person and they don't got nothing, and then y'all start saying each other names. You know what I mean?
Man.
So we really just kids.
So you started saying your homeboy's name, and he started saying your name.
He said my name. I could never be dumb enough to say nobody else's name. I'm in the middle of a robbery, like, dog, you said my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So, and that's why I talk to kids now, man. Cause this is the thing.
So the person who you guys robbed snitched on you, but he knew who you guys were because of your name, basically.
No, I went to prison because we robbed some college kids that went to Wayne State University. It was 3 white kids. We and this my girlfriend, like, our college kids.
Sounds like a T Grizzly story.
We trying to get the money. I'm like, you know.
What'd you take from them, man?
Huh?
What'd you take from them? What'd you get from the kids? From the Wayne State kids?
Oh my God.
PlayStation 2?
So that no, nothing. A cell. He had a. This is how we get caught. So they broke. My cousin hit one of them with the shotgun.
Oh man.
One of them started running off. He started shooting at him with the shotgun. I thank God to this day that, and he had buckshots. I thank God to this day that none of them catch him. Or I'd have went to prison for attempted murder or something crazy. You know what I mean? But just armed robbery, felonious assault. It's enough time for you to go sit down and think, and when you get out, not to do stupid like that again.
I used to think about robbing all the time. I don't know why. It used to be in my blood. It was like I was like 17 or 18. I was like, man, I could just go to my neighbor's crib right now. I know where the safe is at, and just go get that shit. And I used to think about it, like, I remember the moment I was like, I might actually go do this shit. Like, it clicked in my brain, like, I might actually go do it. And that's what happens to people sometimes. Like, what's gonna happen to me? Like, what's the worst that can happen?
What type of music was you listening to at that time?
I wasn't even listening to crazy rap. I was just like, I wanted money and I hated working, and I was like, I literally want to go rob somebody right now. Like, I was envisioning it as I would sleep, and I used to actually like fall asleep to thinking about robbing people. I used to be like, yeah, bro, I'm just gonna break into the crib at like 2 a.m. You feel me? While they're at the wedding. But you know, there's a switch that flicks that makes you capable of actually doing it. Where it's like, I need to go do this.
Yeah.
When you got arrested and you're in the prison process, what was the moment of reflections inside prison? Like, how did you start consciously realizing, like, okay, this is not the life for me anymore?
I knew prison wasn't the life for me the moment I ain't had my freedom. Now, because I'm from the east side and we like to fight, so the fighting part was fun, you know. But when you in there and you can't go open your refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? You can't hug your mama. You can't pick up the phone or answer the phone. You know you can't turn on the TV and start to hit. You know. So prison is a very, very lonely thing.
What year did you get out?
I got out in 2007.
Right.
Yeah.
And so your music, obviously collectively, like you said, you're able to accumulate over 1 million streams with all the projects you've been a part of, right?
Yeah.
So music is in the blood. Creativity is in the blood and everything. You had some type of situation with Rra Rage too, right? Where there was a song that needed to be signed off on.
We bought the rights to some of his vocals.
Cool.
And that whole process was crazy because to buy somebody's vocals and to build a song around it was a whole new journey for us. You know what I mean? Like it ain't the regular way to create. You creating around his topic, his vibe, his everything, and we pulled it off.
Who produced it?
Big He produced it. Big He, and I can't remember if Dre Butters did something to it, but I know he sang on it. Him and Tam sang on it.
Very cool. We talked earlier. You guys have a good relationship with Hell of a Man.
Yeah.
Hella was a really good friend of mine. Can you talk about your relationship and your work with Hella?
My relationship with Helliver is Helliver look at me like his big brother's little brother because I be like I'm so outspoken and just like so myself in spaces. Like one time we down there at his studio, we had just did the he produced a track called for me called By Myself. So we down at the studio with him and he got it's some females down there. I can't say he got, but it's some females down there. And one of them like she say, I live that life. I experienced everything. And I'm like, you ever been pimped before? And he like and hell like is that even something you ask somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like
Crazy.
like 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 it's almost like I get a pass because my big brother is his big brother. And like it was another time where like I had sold him some shit and not nothing particularly illegally, but I sold him some shit and I normally get it for a price and you know, this particular time I got it for a smaller price, so I sold him to it for, you know, a minimum budget, I mean a minimum profit. And it came back, you know, so then when he was ready to buy it again, he like, no, that ain't the price you gave it to me for the last time and shit. And I'm kind of like, nah, that's what it was, you know, and I had to stand on that because that's what it was. But after a while, I had to come back and apologize to him. Like you know what, you was right. This particular time that this happened, and he was like, cool. He didn't ask me for, you know, the money that was left over from it or none of that. He was just like, all right, cool. You know,
That's love.
yeah. You know, most men can do that for you. And he came and did the video for nothing, and this around the time Sada Baby was popping, you know, and he was recording Sada or something. And I asked him, I'm like how Sada make his music, you know? Because I'm a sponge when it comes to music. I'm always trying to improve my craft, and so if somebody doing something that, or you know, if they buzz, I want to know how it is that they creating it. And he like, you know, man, he just get in there and get the humming and get the dancing, and and the next thing I know, you're ready, you know. And I tried it a few times. I got a few good records out of that, you know.
Yeah, just letting the energy take over, right?
Yeah.
Very difficult to do. Some people are capable. So, what's some of the music that you've released that you feel is underappreciated, or hasn't been heard to the degree that you wish it was heard?
The album. So I did. It's probably like 17 tracks. We did a 17-track album with an artist named JD Ripper from Lagos, Nigeria. Like, it's some of the best music that I probably was able to make. It's like it's around the time when the island stuff popped. Now we already had beat him to the punch of getting it going like that. But when I met him on the internet, we had did like 3 songs together. We did Bomb Bomb, which is a remix of the Bomb Bomb, the one time that, and then we did the Favorite High remix, probably like We or something like that. But you know, making music with a I can't just call it with an African because he a real African. Uh, like he improved my flow so much because he hop on that thing like you know what I'm saying. So it's like I can't keep hopping on the track and just saying I gotta hop on the track and I gotta flow with this water that you know that he on. And oh man, the album is great. The Baywatch song that I just released, I think that I'm calling for all eyes on that one. It's ain't nobody made a record about being on the beach since I don't know.
Cisco, the thong song.
That keep it.
Are you talking about some other?
I don't know, maybe like maybe the Beach Boys or Wipeout or something like that. But the thong song. Hey,
I was thinking the music video. The music video was like on the beach. The song's crazy, bro.
Hey, listen, it was like Black History Month. Somebody was like, Cisco was the first black man to walk on bitches.
Just going crazy, man. Hey, rest in peace to D'Angelo too, man. D'Angelo had the Untitled song. How does it feel? That song's fire.
I might go be naked in my next video and spin in a circle, or at least put some underwear on.
That's exactly what I would do if I ever made it as a rapper. I would have done what you did. I would have got braids and I just would have stand in the middle of darkness, naked, and sang.
At this point, just try it.
I did that actually for a Cash Doll video. I literally did that. I was naked and I did a video for her, and
around Cash Doll.
Instagram took it down. Yeah, I literally was naked and I did a video. This is too crazy to be talking about on this podcast, but I did some shit like that. Jamie Foxx did it on the Jamie Foxx show too. He replicated D'Angelo.
I remember that one.
Can't believe he passed away, bro. D'Angelo was legendary, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear Big L's new album?
Big L got a new album.
Yeah, they just got Royce the 5'9" produced it. Isn't that crazy?
Amazing. Yeah, that's
it's
amazing.
Hard, bro. It's hard, bro. It's so hard, bro.
Speaking on like Big L, it made me think about like the first Detroit album that I ever picked up. My first Detroit album was East Side Cheddar Boys get money on the East Side.
Yeah.
Now, like with my mother moving around, I didn't grow up on Detroit hip hop, so the sound never really registered. I was still listening to like Tupac and Nas and DMX and whatever was mainstream. So by the time I get back to Detroit for like I think came back for like the 9th grade, my dad was on the bus and he found the CD on the bus and he gave it to me, and like that getting money on the East Side, getting cheddar on the East Side, classic Detroit CD probably. And then the songs that I like the most is not even like, I like the Gator Capital. We wear meat down to our feet. Where if you don't work, nigga, you don't eat.
Bro, I met Malik in 2018.
Yeah.
Came in the studio, ripped like 6 songs in a row. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, how, bro?
Yeah.
To this day, how? Some people just have that music in them, bro. Like, you just
hustling in the streets, or from selling CDs to selling whatever else I got my hands on, because that's what was going on. Barber capes, Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Wash. It ain't a woman or a person in Detroit that probably haven't bumped into me at some point in their life.
You were selling CD everywhere, just everywhere you could.
I was selling everything everywhere. When I lost that job, when Roger Yacht, when his restaurant closed down and the recession hit, then nobody else want to hire a guy with an armed robbery. I had to wait 7 years to even be able for a person to even look at my application with some type of seriousness. So it was like sell everything or drown. And so when Vezo say he'll never tell nobody not to go make no money, when I watch Stretch Money tell you that he used to DoorDash sometimes, you hear me?
That was kind of, listen, here's the thing about what Vezo said though. With they were talking about if you start a podcast, that means you fell off as a rapper. What I really think it is that you don't want to blow your mystique as a rapper. So I understand rappers getting money by any means, but at the same time, if you overexpose yourself and you talk way too much and you get yourself in a situation where your audience has too much information from you, they do lose interest, unfortunately. It's just part of the game. So it's a balancing act. Like, if I was Vezo, I wouldn't call his podcast a podcast. I would just be like, we're just kicking it right now type shit. Yeah. And like have his boys on and do what he has to do, but you don't want to overexpose yourself as a rapper, bro. I'm telling you, there's something to it where like if I hear you too much or I get too much access to you, I'm not listening to your music anymore.
That's crazy. Well, it's not crazy, but I've always said that. People be like, you don't post enough, you don't post enough, you don't post enough. I'm like, well, what if me not posting enough make people listen to my music more?
Yeah.
Because they have to play the CD to hear me and hear my opinions and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that.
And also, if you're door dashing as a rapper, and you're talking about, it takes money to make money, and that song's a hit, people might look at it like, damn, bro, you're talking about making all this money and shit, but people want to see the proof of what you're talking about in your music, and if they don't see it, it just hurts the music for some reason. If you're talking about all this paper and you're driving in like some like freaking Nissan Sentra, people are gonna be like, what the fuck's going on?
I think it hurts. I think it hurts the persona.
Yeah.
I think like music is probably like I don't know. It's kind of like painting a picture or something. Okay, so when I deal with women, for the most part, I make it like a fantasy. That's how I get my one-nighters. This is Jericho talking right now. It's Rra Rage. So I paint like this romantic, or not even necessarily romantic, but I set this vibe, this mood, and you know when I'm messing with them, I even tell them like this your fantasy. You know what I'm saying? You hear me?
Yeah.
And it just let them just be whoever they want to be right now, cause I done already set the tone. It's
Yes.
a fantasy. We about to have fun. We about to do whatever you want. You know, and I spin that shit.
Absolutely. But if you start doing like, if you show them too much of your real self, then they might be like, wait a minute, like, I want the fantasy version of you right now. I don't want the what cereal you like to eat every morning type version of you.
And that's why I'm single right now,
Man.
because when the fantasy is over, now you got to come down to earth where where the real world is.
Absolutely.
And and so now I really do. I only do the fantasy when it's just like that one that fish that you just trying to catch. But if I'm like being serious with a female, I kind of let her know exactly what's going on in my life. You know, like I have a amazing music career that's providing for me the way it's providing for me. You know, I got a construction company called Beyond Builders, and we do home renovations. I make and so again, that's why I'm like I have to push his message, because that's how men are supposed to do. We're supposed to stand together and band together to push a message out here, and it's like the youth really need to hear it. You don't have to do one thing. I think I was probably the first Detroiter to tell, cause like you ain't got to sell dope. Go get a job. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us be upset with like the older guys in our communities who didn't tell us we could drive a truck or work construction or do this or do that. Everybody told us to go get a bag. You know, and all of us went to prison. When you in prison, the Michigan prisons are probably like, and I ain't a numbers guy, but I could just say 80% of them from the east side.
You think there's more people from prison that are from the east side than the west side?
Absolutely. One of my stints in jail, I think did like 3 months in Macomb County Jail. I read the almanac, and it said that the 48205 has historically been the poorest zip code in Detroit. Historically, now, it might have lost some years to a couple other zip codes, but historically, it's poor over there. For the most part, like so my stepmother lived on Sanford, and that's where Vez and Dollar Rob used to play at. And so that neighborhood was pretty poor. It looked pretty good, but ain't nobody really getting no money over there except for the street guys. Ain't no professionals walking around there.
What makes you think that the west side isn't like somehow equivalent to being in prison than the east side?
From my stint in there, most of them came to prison for dope cases or two flat, some type of gun charge. A lot of and some of them, and there's some more that get a little wild, like the Brightmoors or maybe the Joy Roads, and it's pockets of the east side on the west side, in my opinion. But on the west side, on the east side, armed robbery, carjacking, home invasion, murder. You know what I mean? Like it's violent crimes. You got some drug dealers. You got some, Unfortunately, you got, CSC cases for some of the guys, but for the most joint, they doing numbers, and it ain't really just Detroit. Because being in there was an opportunity to meet a lot of guys from Grand Rapids. I got some brothers in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Muskegon.
And west side, you weren't seeing that though. Like you weren't seeing the west side guys like pulling off the same type of situation.
I can't say that they weren't pulling it off. I can say that they probably was smart enough to not get caught.
With the west side?
Yeah, because I don't know everybody on the west side. I don't know everybody who doing everything over there. I don't know who getting away with what. But I know from my time being in jail, it was just worse from the east side guys. A lot of them was just poor. I had a little east side homie. He'd come to me and be like, I need to make some money. They used to call me Icewood when I was in prison. It's crazy, right?
Icewood?
Yeah, because I was in the hole, and I was rapping, and I was getting money in there, selling stuff, whatever. So they just started calling me Icewood. Juan Icewood, that was my name. And my little east side dude, he come to me, man, and he like, I need to make some money, Wood. They call me Wood. And he'd be like, well, what you need? I'd be like, shit, I could use some tapes. He go run in somebody's room and take their tapes and, bring them to me, and I'd buy them just so he could. Not so. This is the thing about prison. The money in prison is hygiene. So you're really just doing this for some soaps and some lotions and some toothpaste.
That's what I heard, man. It's just trades, really.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the newer projects you got coming out and what people can actually look forward to in the future of your content, man.
So I got a For My City series that I've done. I got For My City 1, and the guy that I met, he told me like that was low key a classic. And I got For My City 2, and that's with with production from Payroll and Helluva and Big E. And then now I finished the third insert over the summer, and I was thinking I was gonna call it For My City It's Summertime, but I made the music while I was living my summer, so I couldn't release it right now. Like I gotta save it for next year. So don't hold me to the title, but I'm thinking I'm gonna call it For the Summer because it's rocking like that. Like it's full of energy, And the Baywatch, that's my single. I'm gonna push that well into next year, and I'm thinking about making the whole album the NFT. I'm thinking about, if not the whole thing, at least a couple songs that I think is just that special. And I got a few of them on there that's that special.
Sure, man. Look, bro, I appreciate the talk, man. I appreciate the history and really how you broke down your entire lifespan with music, because at the end of the day, bro, you came from the CD slinging era, and that's something that's getting a lot of stars. So I'm glad that you really broke it down to these young cats what the real hustle is. I know people are gonna really appreciate that Bella All Star. Thank you again for the close too, man. I appreciate you guys.
I don't want to rock my mic again.
Oh, there you good.
Yeah.
We appreciate you doing this, man. We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Level Visual Studios Productions. Wow. Fire, man. That was heat. You got some class.